Okay, my cleanliness standards are pretty low. Okay, a couple days ago I consumed some rotten milk. I only had like a swig left. I figured I could just consume it and be relatively safe, but it made my throat a little sore. Felt weird. Swallowing was, it felt like there was something lodged in there. And then it went away, but then I started feeling heart problems, which have manifested into today. I kind of there's multiple sources of problems that are giving me a mild issue with my heart, but I think it's probably that infection I got from the rotten milk. I did something kind of stupid and put um, the flaxseed, the ground up flaxseed, in it. I wanted to let it just soak in there and just get wet. I wanted to like just get the flaxseed soaked well and then consume it with the milk. And it's just been a few warm days, and that warmth kind of gave something some life to grow, and now it's affecting my heart just a little bit. So that was rotten, and it just it's something I got to be careful of. But my standards are kind of low. I'm trying to consume these pumpkin seeds. Hope they're supposed to kill like harmful worms. It's supposed to be kill worms. So I guess I don't think it's a worm in my heart, but it can't hurt because I really don't have anything else. I keep losing my dandelion root. I'd have that, and I'd also have burdock root with that as well. But I buy them and lose them. I buy them, use them once, and then lose them. Forget where I put them, because I don't like to consume them too often. Just when I need them, and that's about once a month, once every month and a half, 2 months. And I got such a mess in this car. It's something that I'll need to clean out to look for these things. And that seems to be what happens a lot, is where I'll get into this big mess, just where I can't find anything, and then it's when I have to clean. It's really hard for me to keep something, the same thing, cleans perfectly every day, all the time. These janitorial jobs I see on Craigslist, I don't do very well. My cleanliness standards are pretty low. I just don't see a need to keep things sparkling clean all the time. It doesn't feel like there's any kind of progression there. You just keep shining the thing that's shining and keep it shining and rubbing it, and it's something that it feels like it drives me crazy. I tried the janitorial work a little bit at University of Eau Claire over the summertime, and I got hired on because there were those kids who were training to fly planes back in 2001. They were from the UAE. They're Arab kids, like teenagers, and they were learning how to fly planes in Minneapolis, I think. And it was they were staying in the dorms, and they were really messing it up. And the janitor was having a hard time dealing with them. He really didn't he really despised them, because one time, like, one pooped on the floor and told him to clean it up. And this janitor was in his 50s, and he's the type of guy who stand up for himself a bit. And he got pretty angry at that, and he complained to us about that. And I was hired on and told, just try to clean up the chunks. And I did a good enough job to just keep the chunks clean. I got hired over school year, but then I got fired within a couple of weeks because I wasn't keeping things clean. After the Arabs left, the regular students came in, and they were making a bit of a mess, and the cleaning standards were raised for students because they're paying money, and you got to keep things perfectly clean. And one weekend, I kind of let a pizza stain, the pizza that fell in the stairwell, kind of slide, and the stain was there all weekend. And the manager didn't like that, so I got fired. that was hard, but I mean, it's like my standards of cleanliness are pretty low, and they've been low for a long time. I mean, I did survive the military, all right, but you know, for almost 5 years, I survived the military, and the standards of cleanliness were kind of high because they do dorm inspections and stuff. But when you don't own a lot of stuff, there's not much to inspect anyway. So that was kind of easy to pass. And then basic training, you know, you had to make sure that your locker was perfectly in order and your underwear was folded just right. People are using tweezers to make sure the corners are good and all that. There's a special way you had to do things. And I'll admit I did get in trouble a couple of times. I had a razor. You know, you had to have like two or three on display that are like unused pretty much, and I tried to like clean one off and put it in that display spot, and the training instructor, he really he could tell the difference between a used razor, maybe just used once, he could compare that to just a good clean razor, and he threw my drawer like across the room. He was emphasizing a point that I can't pass one over on him. So I'm just, you know, and I'm slow when it comes to getting things perfectly clean. I'm rather slow because when I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken in high school, during high school, I got written up for being too slow with cleaning afterward. I was like a closing night shift worker, and the manager had his girlfriend there at the time, and he wanted to leave on time, and I was a little late, and he actually kind of had to help me because I was working so slow. I didn't understand, you know, how I can work any faster. I try to work at my pace, but it's just not fast enough. My brain doesn't move fast enough. I'm a slower person in general. My brain just operates slow. So to maintain a higher cleanliness standard is difficult, and to work fast is kind of difficult. You know, if it's a repetitive job, like just moving one thing to the other spots, you know, maybe shoveling dirt, I could probably do that kind of fast, but anything that's a little more complicated in tasks, I have to slow down. And yeah, and my standards are just so low. My brain will start getting foggy because I just start getting bored or something, and before I know it, I start messing up, and just that's it. So it's kind of hard to deal with. I guess it's a mental disorder, but I'm still functionally like lazy. I just do the bare minimum to try to keep my head above water in a way. If something really gets me enraged, or excited, then I put a little more effort into maybe trying to keep things arranged in a good order. But yeah, if it's the same thing over and over, and it's just I don't really see any like progression or any reward at the end. And on hourly wage, I don't know, that kind of motivates me, but it kind of doesn't, because I try to think of the bigger picture. You know, just getting paid. You know what I can pay for things, but I take on the attitude that, well, I can live without a lot of things too. I don't need to be buying all kinds of crazy things anyway. So maybe it's best I don't earn much, because then I won't have the temptation to spend all kinds of money to try to make myself happy. And spending money, it's just a short-term happiness anyway. So, you know, once again, I need some kind of like work where maybe the standards aren't so high for cleanliness, and where when I do something, it feels like it's gonna last a while. I think That's maybe a little bit more rewarding. I could sit back for a couple of weeks or so and just admire the work rather than have to do it on a daily chore.